If you work for a company and you are filming content for that company, so maybe that involves going to different job sites, maybe that's going to different offices, what do you need to do your job effectively and do it well? I've been a social media manager since 2017, and since 2017, I have been creating content for businesses to use online. They can use that content to drive sales, drive people back to their websites, and so on and so on. Part of creating content for companies means going on site, going to their business, and actually filming content. So when I do that, what is in my bag? Today, we will be breaking down what is in my Brevite camera bag, also called the jumper. So as I just said, this is a camera bag from the company called Brevite. I believe that's how it's pronounced. And I, of course, got it in pink because pink is my favorite color. But this actual backpack is called the jumper. And I think it is a great option for content shoots. And here's why. Just to be transparent, this camera bag I think was like $170. So it's definitely an investment piece, but I think that it wears really well, so it lasts a long time. You can see that it's this pretty light color. Every time I've gotten it dirty, I've been able to wipe it off, and it really carries a lot of stuff. So if you are looking for a professional camera bag that will last you years and years and years as a social media manager, I suggest this one, and I'll have it linked below. All right, you're about to find out why this is called a camera bag. So we're gonna turn it to its side, open it up, and pull out our camera. It just is like a nice little pocket that makes your camera easily accessible. When you film content for a company, you have to do it on some sort of camera. Up until 6 months ago, I used my iPhone 14 Pro Max. In fact, I have used an iPhone to film all of my clients' content for the past 7 years, up until 6 months ago. 6 months ago, I switched DJI Osmo Pocket 3 Creator Combo. I'm actually using the DJI to film this video, but I'll insert a clip here of what it looks like. Using an iPhone to film professional content for a company is, I wouldn't say it's a controversial topic in the social media marketing world, but it's definitely something that people talk about. I think it is perfectly fine and appropriate, but you have to have a good phone to do it on. The iPhone 14 Pro Max has worked really great for me, but here are the reasons why I decided to switch and why I honestly think you should switch as well. So number one, I was honestly just getting fed up with my phone storage constantly being full. I have like 256 gigs of storage, constantly was being filled with client content, and then you have to transfer it to your computer, and I just was getting sick of it. But number two is I think your phone works up until a certain point. So for me, I was starting to get client contracts at bigger and bigger companies, and coming in and filming everything on my iPhone, my personal iPhone, was just starting to feel a little, just a little bit immature for me. So I decided to upgrade to the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and I've been super, super happy with that. What's kind of nice too about my phone is that my phone now really is just a personal phone with all my personal photos. I don't do any work on this phone, I do it all on my iPad, but now my phone can be my phone, my camera can be my camera, and it helps with your work-life balance for sure. This could be a whole video in itself, but I have the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I believe it's called the Creator Kit or the Creator Combo. I think it's worth the money. So inside the Creator Kit comes the camera itself, a battery, a mini tripod, a microphone, a wide-angle lens, and then just a few other odds and ends. I feel like if you're a social media manager, you should definitely get the Creator Combo, because otherwise you're gonna end up buying some of these things separately. And frankly, I just think it's a better deal to buy it all together. Okay, so next up, I have a bag of Hey, this is my dog Toast. Next up, I have a bag of chargers. And the reason why my bag of chargers looks kind of messy is because I'm just one of those people that, like, I feel like I'm charger illiterate. Like, I can never understand what charger goes with what device. So I literally just keep a bag of everything together. My husband actually put this together for me because I was just getting so frustrated. So if you're like me, literally just a bag of chargers, it works great. Next up is a external battery for a phone. You can charge like an iPad with it. This one holds enough charge for like 3 whole iPhones, if that makes sense. So this is one I just got off of Amazon. It came with a 2-pack. My husband got the black one. But if you're a social media manager, you're just on your phone a lot, checking Instagram, checking emails and whatnot, have one of these available. They're not that expensive. Next up, this is an adapter, and basically what you can do is you can just connect different things to your laptop. So for me, that's micro SD cards and SD cards. I edit everything on my laptop, and so this is easy for me to just plug into my computer, put the SD card in, and just start editing. My guess is that you've fallen into the trap of filming a bunch of stuff on your phone filling up, buying iCloud storage, which I think is a scam, by the way, and not knowing what to do with it. Well, here you go. Instead of getting extra iCloud storage, I really recommend just backing everything up to Google Photos and then transferring everything over to an external hard drive like this one. This is the SanDisk 2 terabyte external hard drive. They're not cheap. I think this was $180 or $200 on Amazon, but I wrote it off as a business expense. If you work at a company, you can always ask them to buy this for you as well. I think it is worth it because it literally holds 2 terabytes worth of content. For example, an iPhone holds 256 gigs if you have the bigger one, or maybe 512. I'll make a whole other video about this, but basically what you would do is you would film stuff on your camera like this or on your phone, plug it into your computer, transfer all those files over to this external hard drive, and that way you have everything here and you can delete stuff off your iPhone, but you don't have to worry about it because it's all saved right here. Next up, you're gonna have some sort of computer or tablet. So for me, whenever I'm outside of my house, my daily driver is definitely my 2020 MacBook Air 13-inch with an M1 chip. I love it. I think it's great. I will say is I think the MacBook Air is gonna be appropriate for almost all social media managers. You get a little bit more juice with the MacBook Pro. So if you're a social media manager who is starting to edit longer form videos and you're thinking of getting a computer, I think the Pro is worth it. But I've been editing all my YouTube videos on my MacBook Air and it's been really great. When I'm working from home, I actually work from my 2023 iMac. I just got a new one with like an M2 chip. I really love it. But whenever I'm on the go, I really like my MacBook instead. It's super convenient. I like that all my devices are in the Apple sphere. I know that Apple can be a little, but the fact that all my devices are connected, I think is invaluable as a social media manager. And as a social media manager, you work from a computer. You just have to. And so having a really good computer, I think, is worth the expense. If you're a freelancer, I think you should buy one for yourself. It'll be worth it. However, if you work for a company, your company needs to provide you with the tools to do your job and you need a good computer to do that. I would suggest a MacBook Air or a MacBook Pro if they have the budget. Alternatively, if you don't want a standing computer like an iMac and a MacBook, this is my I think it's like a 2023 iPad Air. I recently upgraded from the 2017 iPad. The difference between a 2017 iPad and the 2023 iPad is huge. I use this a lot as well. Granted, I am definitely an iPad girl. Like, I've had an iPad since they came out. Some people don't get the point of them. I love it. Most of the time, if I'm going to a content shoot or going to work at a coffee shop and bringing my backpack, I will almost always bring my laptop just to work from. But sometimes I bring my iPad if I want to do any brain mapping, any brainstorming. But I usually just use my iPad to connect to client accounts and actually manage Instagram accounts, TikTok accounts from there instead of doing that all on my laptop, because as you guys know, like, checking up on client Instagram accounts on a laptop, it doesn't function that way. It was never meant to be a desktop social media application. It was always meant to be for phones and for tablets. So that's why I like having a tablet around. Okay, so next up I want to talk about notebooks. I highly suggest having a notebook if you are a social media manager for lots of writing, lots of notes, lots of sketching out things. If you are on a content shoot, that means that you have content you want to shoot, you have an idea in your mind, you probably have a script. I like having a scratch piece of paper to quickly write things down and plan it out before I actually get to the shoot. So I have just like this really big notebook that I use to like do just like super scratch note thoughts. And then I have this smaller moleskin that I actually keep in all of my bags to write down, I would say, more personal thoughts, basically my mind map for today's YouTube video. I think that when you work in social media marketing, like, your whole life is digitalized. So yes, I have Notion. Yes, I use Apple Notes, but being able to write my ideas down on paper helps me actually accomplish those ideas. So I would suggest having a notebook. You can buy a nice one like this moleskin. I think this was like $30. or you can buy something like this, which is a nice big notebook for $10. You can buy a much cheaper, like $3 at the store, but have a notebook around, especially if you have a laptop, so you can be on your laptop, write down scratch notes right next to it. I would call this category miscellaneous things that I think are very helpful to have but are not necessary to have. Number one is a microfiber towel. It's really embarrassing when you're editing footage for a client or if you work at a company and your camera's all smudged or blurry. So that's why I suggest keeping a towel around. Next up, we have external microphones for an iPhone. So I used to use, like I said earlier, my iPhone to film footage, professional footage, up until 6 months ago. And the iPhone, like audio from an iPhone is just not that great. And so I bought these external mics. I can't remember the name. I'll put it on screen. Basically what you do is you Bluetooth connect it to your iPhone, and then people just use it like a microphone like normal. So even though I do not use my iPhone to film professional footage anymore, I keep these as a backup just in case. It's happened to me one single time where my DJI Osmo Pocket 3 like ran out of battery and I didn't realize. It was easy for me to pull out my phone, pull out my external microphones, and we just kept on going. Next up is actually this mirror. I feel like using a mirror is self-explanatory, but again, this bag is within the context of shooting content. So number one, before I go meet up with a client to shoot content, I use this mirror to take a look at myself to make sure, you know, like I'm looking professional. But number two is I find that when you're working with clients, especially women, they tend to be concerned about how they look, right? That makes sense because your client is about to be on camera and whatever you guys film is about to go online. So having a little mirror if they want to take a look at themselves, I think it's just a nice little touch. Another item that's very similar to the mirror is having a little lint roller. I actually use it quite a lot. Again, just because when you're working with other people, when you're filming, when you're the one directing, I feel like you really just need to look put together. And so I use this a lot for myself, but I've also offered it to people too that are about to be on camera that have like linty shirts or something. It's the same concept as when you go to a hotel and there's like little soaps, shampoos, and conditioners laying out. When you just have a few little things available to make your clients feel more comfortable on camera, or if you're working with employees on camera, I think it makes the experience a lot more comfortable for people, but also I think it just is more professional on your part. So I use a lint roller. I actually also have lip gloss. Obviously, I would not offer this to people that are going to be on camera. This is just a personal thing for me, as I think popping on a little lip gloss before I go direct to content shoot, it just puts me into that boss girl mode. In addition to gum, this is a personal thing, but I think having a few things in your bag that puts you into boss girl mode, director mode, it's just a psychology trick. For me, that's lip gloss and gum. And that is everything that is in my camera bag. Alternatively, if I do not use my pink camera bag, I have the Marc Jacobs tote bag and literally just put everything in that. It's very cute. It's very girly. It makes me feel kind of like a boss, which is the whole point. All right, that's what's in my bag. I'll be back next week.